Hi everybody, Father Bill Holtzinger here, and this is your Friday Reflection. Well, when I was a third grader, I was walking home from school, and I was carrying my violin case. And I was probably, I don't know, 10 pounds wet. I exaggerate, of course. But I was very small, and I was a prime target for bullies. And as I was walking home, I think it was a sixth grader, as my memory serves, somebody that's much older than I was as a grade schooler. And he started following me, but on the other side of the street, and started calling out to me and saying things that were pretty mean, eventually crossed the street, and then proceeded to push me down and just start slapping me while I was just on the ground. Of course, I didn't enjoy that one bit. In fact, I was crying. I did not actually offer any defense. My violin case was only something I could put between us for so long. And the gentleman said, if you tell anybody, it's going to be worse again or next time. And as I was released from this guy, I eventually got home and I was just, bawling my eyes out. And of course, thank God my mom did the right thing. She sent me back to the grade school. We looked through a yearbook of the different students, and I was able to kind of point this person out, and the person got in trouble, and I never had a problem with him since. And at least since I went through that school and eventually graduated out, and I don't know where he went after that, but I was no longer being, bullied by this individual as a third grader. This has repeated itself on other occasions, but I just want to point this out because I harbored incredible anger to this person. And it's natural to do so, right? This person assaulted me, and I did not do a darn thing other than just walking home innocently and tried to ignore him. And he just wouldn't have it. He was looking for someone someone smaller than him, and someone who he could pester and show his strength or whatever, his ego or whatever it might be. I had that opportunity and I took it. I hated him. He was my enemy, but I was also afraid of him. So I didn't really want to go back to school. I didn't want to make a big fuss because it could get bigger, because remember what he said. But again, like I said, that is not how it went down. And to this day, I have trust in systems because they've done me well, at least most of my life. I've been able to go to authorities and share an experience and get some justice. And then I read this text from the gospel that you will hear this weekend from Luke chapter 6. It starts with verse 27. It says, Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who mistreat you." I wasn't very good at that as a young kid. I was a pacifist, and I've always had been because of the other occasions of a repeated kind of situation as I got older in middle school and at high school. I would not offer any defense, but I would go to the authorities. And I had this finally strength within me that if they said something like that, if you tell anybody, et cetera, I would next say, it's too late already. Because there's nothing going to do that's going to stop me from sharing what happened. And that comes, I think, from the grace of God, but also comes from hurt and woundedness, but then also that desire to defend myself. And then I read here, again, moving on. Jesus says this, "To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not even withhold your tunic." I didn't want to give away my violin, even though I wasn't very good at it, and I guess that would mean I wouldn't have to play anymore, but that is hard for a third grader. And as a 58-year-old person, that's me today, I find that still very difficult. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, typically someone will strike you this way if they're going to slap your face. A little simple reading that I've done regarding this text would say for someone to then slap you again, as I see this text, to the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other as well. So it means that I'm offering the other side. The only way to get to that other side is now to backhand the slap, which is even more humiliating. But I think there's something genius about this. Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King did something like this. When he marched into towns that were known for their incredible bigotry against black people, walking in with a group of people with him, priests, other ministers, lay people of all cultures, it would elicit the evil. And it would be caught on camera when the fire hoses would blow them away and knock them down. There's some genius here. And Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. used this very principle. In other words, knowing that there's an evil, instead of totally backing away, he would walk into it, but without violence on his side. Not necessarily being a pacifist in the sense of doing nothing, but a pacifist in the sense of walking into and making clear what the evil was, so all of us could see. I go, okay, well, I didn't have cameras when I was a young person, and in any of these instances, I'm very thankful that people believed me when I reported it, or reported these moments. And I want to tell you something. 2 weeks ago, I did a funeral. And at that funeral was some former teachers that I taught with. And in fact, some of the teachers when I was a student. One in particular was one of the administrators at the junior high school I was going to, or the middle school. And it was there that I also was assaulted. And I went to the administration. And it was this principal and his administration, I think he was the vice principal, but he was very much involved. Because when I talked to him at the funeral, I said, "Hi there, what's your name?" And he told me his name. I'm like, wait a second. I remember this name. I mean, it's been many years since junior high. I remember this name. And I said to him, "I know you. You don't remember me because I came in the middle of the year or near December as a student for 1 year at the junior high as a 9th grader. But when I was assaulted on the bus, I came to it was right when we got to the school, and everybody's getting up so it could be hidden. One guy grabbed me and held me back by the arms behind me, and the other one took a slug or so. And they said, 'You better not tell anybody.' And I told them again. I said, 'It's too late.' And I went right to the principal's office. And this administrator and his other people that helped him with the administration did me right. They stopped the offense. I couldn't actually defend myself, and I was well outnumbered and outsized even by one of the persons. But good came out of it. And those people were on alert. They got in trouble, appropriately so, by the authorities in the school, and I'm sure their parents got to know it. And so they stayed away from me. So Jesus is not being a pacifist in the sense of never do anything, but seek out justice. And this is just one kind of angle on this scripture, but it allowed me to find, again, faith in an institution that was the school. Yes, a lot of institutions can be corrupted because we're human, but not all of them. And I thank this gentleman. He was an older man now at the funeral, and he was kind of looked at me like, "I don't remember this." I'm like, "Of course you don't. I remember it because it happened to me." That was probably one of many of those events. He actually said, yes, that was some difficult years. We kind of pieced together the years. There was a lot of that going on. And they struggled during that time to keep it under wraps. And I thanked him. And I said, "I bet you never get any thanks. I bet you, as an administrator, no student probably thanked you for helping them, saving them, keeping them safe, and giving them some confidence in humanity." The man is a Christian, clearly, and he was praising God as I was praising God for this, as we were meeting and talking. And it was awesome. It brought all these things, the emotions. I got very animated speaking to him because those feelings came back. And also not just of what happened, but the joy of being listened to and meeting, having justice meted out. maybe you're being called to be like that. That is a person. And maybe you are a person in a role, a leadership role where you're helping people to right wrongs. And sometimes you do these things quietly and you never get any credit. Know that it's okay. God sees it. And maybe there'll be a person like myself who will remember you. And later on down in the years, I'll come to you and say, thank you. Thank you for being a good shepherd to me and guarding me and keeping me safe. These are many of the puzzle pieces for myself, my friends, of why I'm a priest. Above me is an image of the Good Shepherd. It actually had this image created specifically for my ordination because that's what I want to be, as a good shepherd. Am I a perfect shepherd? No. Am I a sinner? Yes. Do I make mistakes? Yes. But I still have a goal. And I do want to be there with you. I want to thank you. I feel so blessed to be your shepherd here at Holy Trinity. And I ask that you pray for me, that you pray for Father Anthony and Deacon Brett and all our staff, because we all participate in the ministry of reconciliation and shepherding, so that you could know and grow and go out and share this good news and to be Christ for others. This week, I want to ask you also to pray for Pope Francis. He's ill, as you all know, probably. And we don't know the specifics. They say he's a little better at this recording, which is a Thursday, the 20th. But who knows? We'll see. Deacon Brett's going to be preaching this weekend. He's going to wrap up the 4-part series on Christology. And I hope you'll see you there. And I'd love to hear your stories. Do you have a time when someone or some injustice happened and you sought out some authority and they were able to help right that wrong or keep you safe from harm? I hope so. And I hope you're that kind of person. I'll see you this weekend. God bless. Bye-bye.